Hey there. This is the follow-up to our second meeting in the Intro to Unified Mindfulness course. And so we covered Feel Rest, the technique Feel Rest. What I would like to do um, for the next 15 minutes or so is go over the instruction set just briefly again, describing what Feel Rest is, and then let us kind of be guided through a 10-minute practice period. So hopefully you can use this video as a reminder about what this particular technique is, and then use it maybe on a daily basis to get that 10-minute practice period in with some guidance. So unlike the see, hear, feel practice, Feel Rest is a narrowed focus range. So when we say focus range, what we mean is the options that our attention can be settled on in this practice. In see, hear, feel, anything works. You can notice where your attention goes at any moment on anything, and that be a part of the meditation. With Feel Rest, what we're doing is guiding our attention to just cover sensations in the body, and specifically the quality of rest in sensations in the body. So what is rest? The word rest is kind of the technical term in unified mindfulness for any experience of inactivity or neutrality or absence. So in the case of Feel Rest, we're focusing on neutrality in the body, absence of sensation or emotional sensation in the body, or a relaxed, settled, inactive quality in the body. For this practice, thoughts will still happen. Thoughts you see or thoughts you hear. Sights and sounds around you will still happen. You're just going to allow them to be in the background. Let the focus be, or the spotlight be, just on sensations in the body and the ways that you might notice sometimes there being a kind of absence or stillness of sensation. So we can find rest in the body when muscles are relaxed, when there is a kind of peaceful absence of emotion in the body, or when we notice that we can't quite feel some part of our body. Sometimes, like my foot, for instance, might be just still, not too hot or cold, not any pressure or anything like that, not any pain. So it's kind of just there, and I can't really even feel my foot that much. It's kind of like it's absent. It doesn't have to happen to you, but sometimes it might, and that could be considered rest. So we can find it if it's already present. If it's not present, we can actually decide to create it intentionally by relaxing muscles. We can let our shoulders sink. We can release possible tension in our stomach. We can let our jaws and shoulders soften. And that way you're kind of introducing yourself to rest intentionally. If you have a hard time finding rest anywhere, and even when you intentionally relax, you have a hard time capturing the essence of rest, you can turn to your out-breath. Every time you release air from your body sort of opens and relaxes. At least some part of it. You can kind of watch the out-breath of air as a form or as an example of rest you can come back to. You can let your attention freely float throughout the body, just kind of being drawn to any areas that have that neutral, relaxing, restful quality. You can cover the whole body at one time and kind of get an average of the restfulness in the body at any period. Or you can direct your attention to one place of the body, like, for instance, the stomach on the out-breath. You can keep it there the whole time if you want to, or any other place, like the extremities sometimes can be easily restful. But wherever you find rest in the body, You will use, similar to see, hear, feel, you will use the noting with labels. So I'm noticing the release of tension in my shoulders causes a kind of sense of relaxation or settledness or ease or restfulness. So I'm noting it with a label of rest. And then with my attention placed there, I'm focusing on the quality of neutrality or relaxation for just a few seconds before releasing that and noticing another example of rest. Rest. And then focus in. You can also return to the same place again and again, or you can let your attention move somewhere else. So sometimes when we're doing this practice, discomfort can arise. That's fine, that sometimes happens. It might not. If it does, do your best to still stay in contact with even subtle rest in the body. Sometimes you can kind of look around the discomfort, if that makes sense. If I have a pain in my around my sternum, for instance, I might broaden my awareness up to the chest, out and around toward the navel and the ribs, and maybe there could be examples of rest I find there around the discomfort. Try to keep a steady pace with the noting with labels, noticing rest somewhere in the body, labeling with the mental label rest, and then focusing in, and continuing that process again and again. So let's start a 10-minute practice period now. We'll begin and end with a single chime, and then you can use that to carry through your week as you practice. Okay, so let's begin. You may want to decide to begin by lengthening the spine and letting your body relax around the spine. Possibly deciding to release tension in muscles around the jaw, or the shoulders, or the stomach, or the neck, or forehead. And as you notice your body settling into its place, maybe the breath will be slowed and lengthened slightly. You may also notice a quality of settling that you can turn to and focus on in different locations of the body. As we continue this practice of noticing and labeling rest in the body, do your best to acknowledge any quality of relaxation, of neutrality, of stillness, anywhere in the body. And every few seconds, when you notice that restfulness, use the mental label, rest. And then focus in on what you notice in that quality of restfulness. Continue with this noting with labels at a steady and consistent pace. Always remembering that you can turn to the out-breath or intentionally relax muscles if you're having a hard time making contact with rest. It's okay if it's a little bit hard at first Rest can sometimes be extremely subtle. But as you're allowing your attention to highlight or acknowledge that relaxing quality, you're strengthening your clarity skills as you detect rest throughout the body. Steady pace, acknowledging rest by labeling and focusing in every few seconds. Letting all thought and sight and sound continue to play out in the background. Remember, if you get pulled away, lost in thought, distracted by your surroundings, just do your best to acknowledge when that happens, and then redirect your attention to locations of the body that feel neutral or relaxed, or have a kind of absence of sensation or activity. And pick up with the practice again there, labeling rest and focusing in for a few moments. Doing this again and again and again. And as you're going through this process of finding or creating a restful quality in the body, you may notice the arising of discomfort. And if that happens to you, that's fine. Just do your best to stay in touch with the inactive locations of the body. Turning away from that discomfort slightly, but letting it be there. Letting your attention soak into the restful qualities that you find or create in the body. Doing your best to maintain a steady, consistent pace. Every few seconds, noticing and acknowledge with a label, rest. And then focus in on that quality of stillness or relaxation or neutrality that you find in the body. Doing this again and again in one location or in many locations, or letting your attention cover the whole body at once. And as we conclude in a moment, do your best to stay in touch with this restfulness in the body as you go about your day. Okay, hope this was helpful. You can feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or anything like that, and I hope to see you all next Wednesday.